Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Kevin Michel. I am back again with another video. If you're new to my page, I'm a musician, music producer, singer-songwriter, and obviously I do sync, as well as producing for different artists. So today we're going to look at hip hop, but uplifting hip hop, to be specific. This is like I feel like, if you're watching TV, like commercials and ads, I feel like this is all over the place. Often, people think hip hop is just, stuck in the genre of like trap. And so like this is a different way of doing hip hop, and I think it's super effective. And I think it's actually more useful in different scenarios, more than just trap hip hop. I actually just got a brief for this a few weeks back from a library. And so, as I was making it, I was like, this is like really, really cool. And I think it'd be useful information if you are a producer who does hip hop. You will be asked to do this in sync. But before we begin, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share, like, comment. So let's be great. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Here is the cue. Please don't make fun of my color coding. Without going too much into the details, I can't disclose too much information. But again, the brief was for uplifting hip hop. And they wanted like boom bap drums with some like happy mood from the cue. So just know that going in. As always, we're gonna dissect each section and kind of talk about what's going on. So here we go. So the intro, I like to do this sometimes. I start off with a drum fill going into, that intro. I think it puts everything, it kind of sets the tone, puts everything together. Yeah, I did a drum fill going into like piano chords and like some piano like riffs and lines with some claps. So these claps, they sound like it's a whole bunch of claps. Like I think I designed this where I clapped like, I think 10 or 15 times, doubled it, and it just gives this feel like it's just you're in a stadium. If I could find it, it's one of these ones here. So all right, so again with the piano, I did kind of like a staccato and just chords, just going the whole time. When I think of happy, I always think of like pianos being really choppy and like cheesy, but I think that's what happy sounds like to me on the piano. So I'll play this. All right, and then again with the line of the piano. And another thing I chose on purpose, like an upright piano sound, because I feel like that just sounds authentic and organic. It kind of just gives that like that live feel. So again, this I think works. And I ended off with just like a dramatic ending with the timpanis just kind of rolling, and then there's just like a empty space there. Again, if you've watched my previous videos, I love to do this just so it can give the editor more to work with. So I would highly recommend that, trying it out with your cues. Make sure you don't do it randomly. Set it up nicely. I have the timpanis kind of basically rolling, so it's a lot more dramatic. So again, that's a helpful tip if you are creating a cue. So we'll go to the A section after the intro, and we'll see what this sounds like. So this whole section right here is the A section. thing I forgot to mention in my intro, I do have a drum build again, going into that empty space that goes with the timpanis. I just wanted to quickly mention that. I think that also plays a role into that dramatic drop off. So again, helpful tip there. So my A section, what are we doing? So obviously the drums are in, and then the piano changes a little bit. I'm not doing the piano lines anymore. Everything is solid stuff that's happening. It's not too busy. It's literally just piano, just staccato, bouncy chords. I don't even know if that's the right terminology for it. I'm a musician. I don't know. That's I'm making my own rules here, but yeah. So I have some pianos, just kind of bouncing around, and then I introduce a low brass and some in the 808s. And so we'll just play this section. That's the boom bap drums that they wanted. Again, you got to make sure you're literally executing everything that they want. If they want boom bap drums, make sure you're not giving trap drums. I mean, I think that's very obvious, but still, just so you know, because once people are hip hop, they're like, oh, let me throw in, some trap hats and this. If they're asking for boom bap drums, give them boom bap drums. So piano, again, the piano changed up a little bit. I'm not doing the line in the riffs up top. I'm just kind of just solid stuff at this section. All right, and then the 808 with the brass. Right, so nothing too crazy. Everything is real simple stuff. It's all just literally just vibing, right? I chose like a pop chord progression. I made the progression up. It's probably been used. It's real simple, and so I think all of this goes together really nicely. So going to this section, I think I switched up the chord progression, and I did like a minor 4 on the 4 chord, and I think it gives it a different flavor. And I introduce like a melody up top with the brass section, so there's like a different feel. Again, I always have this rule where I try to change things up every 4 to 8 bars. Or 4 to 8 measures. Yeah, 4 to 8 bars. And so, again, I would highly recommend doing that. Keeping your music interesting is probably one of the biggest things you can do in sync. So that way, there's more to work with. And the music editors will love a different feel. All right. So with the brass. All right. So, these are 2 octaves. One, and I panned one to the right, one to the left, just so like it's a little wide, and that's going with that low brass that we had in this section. So when you put it together, it sounds like this. All right, and so the progression changed up a little bit, if I remember correctly. So we did the 4 minor here. So right, so that 4 minor is there. And again, it's the same thing from this section, but I mean, you can even see it through the MIDI information. The brass is the only thing that comes in. And then on this section, you can kind of see it. It's literally just growing. I bring in some tambourines. I found these tambourines off Splice. And then the drum build I brought back in. So we'll listen to that. All right. So that's pretty much it for the A section. I think again, I know I'm biased. It's my cue, but I think this sounds happy to me at least. It sounds like walking on the beach and you're running with your wife and son. I don't know, but this sounds pretty happy to me. And so again, if you ever come across a brief where you have to do some uplifting hip hop, you always want to do like major chords mixed with some minor chords here and there. I mean, I would even go as far as like going on Spotify or something and find like the latest hip hop, not the latest, the latest pop song, and seeing like copying the progression or borrowing the progression, and kind of just put your own twist to it. But most of that stuff is like real happy. And I think it'll fit really well. Put some, slap some drums on there, and then you're good. All right. So we're gonna walk through the B section, which again, the B section's the same, but it's kind of like an alternative of your A section. All right. So with the B section, I think it changed, but it's not too far off. But I think, again, I may be biased, but I think everything sounds cohesive. Again, I think I keep introducing this drum fill again to give that editor the space. So with the B section, there's a drum fill, and then we have the claps. We introduce the claps right back. Back into everything. So again, the claps are no longer in. So again, we want to make sure we're being unpredictable, right? So the claps weren't in the whole A section, and now we brought them into the B section. I switched up the piano like chord progression and feel completely. It is no longer the same, but it's kind of the same feel, but it's like an alternative. So I'm gonna play that. Yeah, so with this piano, it's pretty much a little different from what we had. And then I had like an organ. I don't know why it says piano, but it's an organ. I did some organ slides, and that's with the claps that we had from the intro. I also reintroduced the timpani there. Again, dramatic. Those rolls, the rolls are going to nothing. So it just feels like there's something coming, but then there's nothing there. And I think, this section, this last part of the B section reintroduces everything with the drum beat that we had and with the tambourines, and we're all in at this point. Again, I try to switch things up, keep it exciting, so it doesn't sound repetitive. All right, and one thing I will say, I'm now noticing that now, and I don't know if I did this on purpose, but the 808 is really not busy. Like it's literally just hitting, I think on the one every time. Obviously, when we think of trap, 808s usually do a little bit more. I try to give it space. Again, this may be an underscore, this may be, under some dialogue. So I don't want too much to be, happening. All right. So that's pretty much the B section. Again, I have the drum roll and the timpani going into an empty space, again, for the music editor. And then the drum fill, This is my A section. I'm reintroducing the A section, but I think I switched it up. I usually tend to switch up the A section a little bit just so it sounds different and it doesn't sound like I copy and pasted. And so we'll listen to that. All right. So let's talk through it. If you are kind of just following along real closely, then you would notice some of the changes. So I brought the claps back in just like I did with the intro, but I kept the claps the whole time. As I mentioned earlier, the claps didn't, come back in until the B section. So now I'm like really like, all right, let's, full on claps throughout the whole last section. And then what else did I do? The brass, again, the brass line didn't come through until the very last section. I could have, if I wanted to, bring this here along with, that would work too, with just the claps and the piano, because that wasn't in the track at all. Again, when you're kind of creating sections, you want to mix and match things that haven't happened in the track. I think that's probably the best way to think about, creating cues that, are interesting. You want to, have two components that never matched before. So I never had the brass and the claps and with the piano. That never happened previously. So, that keeps it interesting. So yeah, again, those things, I think, when you mix it and matching, I think that works. That keeps it interesting. Everything else is pretty much the same as what we did. The claps are there. All the pianos are there. The brass section's there. I actually like how I just move this last part here. I probably should have did that, but it's cool. And then we ended off with a sting ending. I didn't do a kick this time. Usually I do a kick, but I think I felt like this was fine. But I will say, like, that is a great way to do your sting endings. Add a kick in there to give it that extra punch. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Again, hip hop, cues are used all over the place. But you don't want to limit yourself by just being a trap hip hop composer or producer. If you have any questions about any type of brief that you may be going through, or any ideas that you would like me to kind of talk about, I would love to hear it. Please leave a comment, like, share, and let me know where you are with the sync journey. Again, my one-to-one sessions have been amazing. I've been meeting all these different composers and producers who are in different areas on their journey. Please hit the one-to-one sessions. Let's talk it out. Let's run through your music and make sure you are sync ready and ready to go. All right. So again, please like and share, subscribe. But until next time, be great.